This is Rehab Group's General Election Manifesto, where we will outline our asks and expectations for the next Irish government. The reality is that people with disabilities do not feel seen by the people who make decisions, and our interests and rights are being overlooked.
We are demanding that our voices be heard. We, the people who have lived experience of disabilities, are the ones who have expert knowledge on the challenges that we face and the changes that are needed. It's time to listen to us and to value our votes as equal to everyone else's.
A major area that urgently needs to be addressed is the cost of disability. In 2021, the Indecon Cost of Disability report showed that the additional cost of managing a disability in Ireland is between €223 and €313 per week. Here's a snapshot of what different service users have told us in our focus groups.
I have to go to St. Vincent de Paul for food vouchers sometimes.
I can't afford my medication and shopping each week. I find it difficult to make ends meet.
We urge that the next government provides long-term supports to combat disability poverty by increasing basic social welfare rates and introducing a €50 a week cost of disability payment. Housing provision and independent living supports for people with disabilities is known as a crisis within a crisis.
When I was renting, it was very expensive, and so my family would help me with paying my rent. I've had to move back home now because I couldn't afford to keep paying the kind of money they were asking.
While the increases of personal assistance hours in Budget 2025 were a welcome step, the lack of employees to provide these services remains a major obstacle.
I need more PA hours. It would help me to do more things out in the community. Currently there is no cover if my PA is out, sick or on holidays. This needs to change.
We urge the next government to create clear pathways for those with disabilities to future-proof their lives around suitable housing and supports. There are significant challenges for people with disabilities to access the health care that they need.
Medical cards don't cover all my medication. This doesn't make sense. I have to pay €150 for inhalers for my asthma. This isn't covered under the medical card or the LTI scheme.
It's €1,200 to get my wisdom teeth out. If I go with my medical card, it's years to wait. My gums are rotting and I have to take antibiotics regularly. I have no dentist in my area. I have to travel an hour to the nearest one and they don't take medical cards.
The next Irish government must work to remove hidden healthcare costs by ensuring that medical devices, blood tests, injections and dental treatments are fully covered by the medical card. Mental health conditions are more prevalent in people who have a disability. 9% of persons with a disability report suffering from moderately severe to severe depression. This is over 4 times the national average of 2%.
The only reason I got mental health support is because I ended up in hospital for 2 weeks. The layover from CAMHS to adult services is shocking.
The next government must prioritise legislation to reform the Mental Health Act of 2001 so that it is compliant with the UNCRPD. Transport is a key element of independent living. The people who use our services highlight major concerns around the affordability and availability of accessible transport in Ireland.
There are no options to use public transport in the evenings and weekends. I have to rely on family to drop and collect me. I'm an adult and I feel like a child.
Transport is really important for social interaction. If you need transport, you have to give 24 to 48 hours notice to go anywhere. I think the government should look at a new way of subsidising taxis or making the travel pass work for taxis.
Ireland's rate of employment of people with disabilities is among the lowest in the EU.
Employers don't see the value of having people with disabilities in their workforce. When I tell them I am on the spectrum, they say no. It's the lack of disability awareness that's the problem.
If I was to have missed work as a result of my illness, I would have no money for that week. I need my secondary payments. Without disability allowance, I have no security. I feel that we should be kept on the system because if we make enough money, we lose our benefits and then we have to reapply.
The next Irish government must acknowledge and remove the structural and societal barriers that prevent people with disabilities from gaining and retaining employment. It also needs to improve supports and funding for people with disabilities in training and education.
Disabled people are marginalised by financial, physical and societal constraints that reinforce our unequal society. Ireland still has a way to go to meet the needs and rights of disabled people, as outlined in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with a Disability.
The general election is an opportunity for positive change, and we are calling on candidates to prioritise disability and, if elected, to actively introduce and support measures that enable the inclusion of disabled people in all aspects of life.
Thank you for watching Rehab Group's General Election Manifesto. To find out more, click on the link in the video description.